Yo, what's up guys? I'm just a nobody, and in today's video, I'm going to show you something that will hopefully give you a better understanding when you're reading the prophets, like the book of Isaiah. So, without any further ado, for the first time ever, let us formally turn our attention to the chalkboard. Alright, so, what I'm talking about today, like I said, happens in the Old Testament prophets, and it's called Mountains Behind Mountains, and today I'm going to illustrate for you what that means. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to draw is the mountain range. So this is a first-person view of the writer in front of this mountain range. Okay, so we have three mountains here. And the reason why they call it mountains behind mountains is because it's a mountain behind a mountain. Okay, so this is his view. And in, say, the book of Isaiah, what Isaiah is saying in the book is what he's describing from this mountain range. So what do these mountains represent? So each of these three mountains represent the three types of prophecies. This one is immediate, which is the stuff that would happen in their lifetime. This one is the first coming of Jesus, and this last one is the second coming of Jesus. So the words that the prophet is saying is describing what he sees in this mountain range. So let's say that he's in here, which is the first coming of Jesus. You'll notice that it's pretty easy to just kind of slip up into this one. And within only 2 verses, they can be talking about the first coming of Jesus, and then slip up here into talking about the second coming, and then back again with absolutely no warning. So an example of this would be in Isaiah chapter 9, verses 6 and 7, which is a pretty familiar Christmas passage. And this is what it says. Isaiah 9, verses 6 and 7. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his judgment and peace there shall be no end, upon the throne of David, and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice, from henceforth even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this. So you'll notice that in just those 2 verses, he switches from talking about Jesus' birth in the first coming to the establishment of his eternal kingdom in the second coming. And it just switches right to there without telling us. So when you're reading the book of Isaiah and the other prophets, how do we know what time period they're talking about? Like, how do we know when they switch from one part of the mountain range to the other? And this is the key right here. So I'm going to erase this, and then I'll show you something else. Alright, so here we have a picture of the same mountain range, but from the side view. This is the prophet who's describing what he's seeing. And when he's describing it, he can't actually see that there's space in between these mountains. He doesn't know that. So he's just describing what he's seeing. But as we can see from the side angle, that there is space between those different types of prophecies, or each of the mountains. So we still have immediate, the first coming of Jesus, and the second coming of Jesus. And in between the immediate and the first coming of Jesus, there's exile. And then in between the first coming of Jesus and the second coming of Jesus is the church age, which is what we're in right now. And in our example, he was describing this one and this one, not knowing that there was all this space in between it. So when you're reading the Old Testament prophets, you always need to have this understanding of the mountains behind mountains concept. And if you understand that, it will help you to better understand what the prophecies actually are that he's saying. Alright guys, that's all I got for today's video. I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. But until then, stay on fire for Jesus, and have a great rest of your week. I'm just a nobody, over and out. And don't forget to subscribe!